Welcome back to Ranma Half Anime Review, episode number 30. We are here reviewing the second episode of the Ranma Half 2024 series, I Hate Men, which also, fun fact, was also named with the third chapter of the manga. I find that interesting about that. So, and a little fun fact, well, the third chapter is one of the three chapters after this episode. Yes, 3 through 5. In this episode, we are introduced to several people who are primary recurring characters in this series, and we're also using a few gags in this series. Oh, by the way, Akane's older sister is not in the episode because she's not in the source material. So, the episode starts out after let's say the description of the episode, basically a synopsis in the opening title sequence. Well, we have it where Genta is telling Ranma basically he has to go to school with Akane. Because, well, you gotta basically go to school. You're a teenager. You gotta go to school. So, basically, Akane's middle sister, one of her elder sisters, Nibiki, where it's like, oh yeah, you have to go to Ranma to school. Now, yes, this also happened in the original series also, which, yes, this coincides with the second episode of the original series. Oh, in case you're really curious, though, about the second episode. Like, if you're really curious, what second episode of the original series is called School is No Place for Horsing Around. It is also second episode, but it adapts basically the same amount of chapters, except in step 2 adapts 3 adapts only 2 this time. And 5 was actually adapted for the very next episode. So kind of what they did with this episode is they pretty much in a way kind of all the filler stuff they did from episodes 2 and 3 of the original show and just yeah. Yeah, and basically they just come out well, essentially what like the first episode of this series is essentially a remake of the first episode of that one. This one took episodes 2 and 3 and combined them to one and removed all filler. So basically we have Ranma walking out of the fence, which yes, they did this in the original series too. Where Kane's you have to stay away from each other, pretend we don't know each other. And of course, Ranma's father basically tries to step in, and of course he's kicking the water for it. And then on the way to school, then they run into one of 3 brand new characters who debut in the very episode. One of whom is a anime original character. The others are from the manga. Excuse me. The first one is Tofu Ono, a doctor who, and looking at him between his original appearance and his appearance in this series, I think like the only change they made to him is they made his face a bit smaller. He is voiced by Josh Keaton. Oh, and here's a little fun fact about his English dub actor. Did you know he had 2 in the original show? And get this, the guys who voiced him also voiced Moroku in Inuyasha. Yeah, the original voice actor for Moroku has since passed away. Ian James Corden and Koei Mara took over the series, just like how he did in Yasha Prince Half Demon. Get this. His current voice actor for this show is Josh Keaton. You're thinking, who's that? Well, these are some shows you may have heard of he's been in. Voltron Legendary Defender. Yes, the brand new show that was developed by, well, that was a remake for made by Netflix. There was also he was also in Marvel Spider-Man as Electro. He was also the voice of, get this, Hercules. The young version of Hercules from the movie Hercules made by Disney, and Jack Darby from Transformers Prime. Yes. Oh yeah, he was also Metal Gear Solid 3 Solid Eater, Snake Eater. Yeah. Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, it's one of those things involving Boss Snake. Yeah. But he's also in Ninja Gaiden, World of Warcraft. Oh yeah, here's some movies he's been in besides... Well, he's also been in... He was Wally West in Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. He was one of the Spider-Man... He was basically... Get this. The Spectacular Spider-Man. Yeah. Those of you who love Spectacular Spider-Man, that people really want Marvel to get back under their purview and get this actor back, but yeah, he does a pretty good job. We're also introduced to his skeleton, Betty. Who does not talk because of the skeleton? Yeah. He just shows up and Connie starts blushing at him, which implied the fact she has a thing for him, which doesn't really go much anywhere on the series, all aside from this slight crush, because he has a thing for somebody else, and it is quite obvious, and it's a big gag in the original series. So, at the chat room, of course, they arrive at school, and then we have a bunch of punks show up. People who are like karate, kendo, like any kind of sports thing related, and all these guys want to do is to date Akane. And they figure though, ooh, anybody who beats her in combat basically get free to date her. And Ranma's told you haven't. And she proceeds to beat the crap out of 20 guys all by herself. And Ibiki is like watching this like, oh, and of course Ranma basically, now why in the world basically like he doesn't help out? Because the guy who instigated this shows up. Tatsumaki Kuno. Tabaki Kuno. Yes. Which, of course, aside from the hair change and the way his eyes look, he's pretty much the same guy as the original series. Now, like in the case of this one. Oh, and here's the thing. In the original show, he's voiced by Ted Cole. That's who voiced him in the original series. This one, he's voiced by Jonah Scott. Yes, that is who voices him in this series. For those of you a little familiar with this guy's work, he was in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind Flamingo, Phoenix Man from One Punch Man Season 2. He is also, those fans of One Piece, Charlotte Katakuri. You're thinking, wait, Charlotte Katakuri, is it the same guy who fought Luffy in the course of like 20 episodes of Whole Cake? Yeah. A guy who's like as tall as his mom. Yes. He was actually just in the public school arc as Herman Greenhill. Oh yeah, he was also in the recent film of My Hero, not My Hero, That's the Recurrence of Slime, Scarlet Minus Hero. Benny Morrow's brother. Good voice actor. And of course, basically, him and, Ranma basically, he sort of introduced him as Blue Thunder, which, yes, he did this in the original series too. And of course, he and Ranma proceeds to fight. Ranma proceeds to just proceed to dodge every move he does. And then he proceeds to take one finger, poke his head, and of course he has a little bruise, and of course then, just by sheer coincidence, it starts to rain. Oh, before this, basically, this was the second time he turned to a girl because basically he got water dumped on him, which, yes, it's also happened in Series 2 by an older lady, and takes a hot teapot, pour it on his head. It was like, I'll just go home and have a bath. Like, no, just use teapot. Excuse me. Yeah, the golden teapot thing, that's actually a gag in the Series 2 of, okay, you want to turn back to normal? Use hot water. Yep. So, and of course, Nibiki tells Kuno that, oh, by the way, in the case of Ranma, because after his introduction to class, which is the standard, oh yeah, and because he was late, allowing Akane, despite the fact that technically it wasn't her fault, the fact she was late, a bunch of guys want to beat her, or want to fight her, they are punished by standing in the hallway with 2 buckets of water. Now, from what I can tell, this is a Japanese school punishment, not American school punishment. If you're taught in American school, you don't get punished by being set outside the classroom with buckets of water. You get a tardy slip. And of course, Kuno is told by Nibiki that, oh, Rama is Akane's fiance. He gets so upset. And of course, he's still standing in the hallway. So then he proceeds to walk to a locker, come out, and he comes out, and of course someone says, who do you think you are, Superman? Which I think that may have been English dub edition because, yes, he thinks he probably would be Superman because Superman's, his old gag he used to do is that he used to walk into a telephone booth and transform into Superman. Which, of course, doesn't do that anymore. He still does the thing in the comics where he does occasionally change in the Daily Planet broom closet. He still does that. Or he does on the roof, but he does not do it in telephone booth anymore because no telephone booths. The thing is, it was the 80s, so of course, basically, they have a locker in the classroom. So, he finds Ranma and proceeds to fight him, and of course, Ranma, he's like, why are you running away? Because finding a hallway is not a good idea. So, he proceeds to go outside, he's like, oh, you're on 3rd floor, and he looks down below, like, oh crap, in a pool! Nomi really lucky and survived, but Ranma, nope, that's bad. And then he transforms the girl without anybody noticing, so he proceeds to carry Kuno, who's been knocked out. It's like, oh, I see a young girl. And of course, then carries her, and of course, well, by the way, and when it rained before, Genta shows up and basically turns back normal, and of course, that's when they go to class. So, yeah, then of course, Rama and his girlfriend already took off his pants. Which, of course, needs to dry him off. And then, of course, where Akane just happens to have a golden hot pot. A hot teapot. And of course, he gets hit by Kuno, who gets thrown to by Akane, who basically beats him up because she challenged him. And, of course, Rama briefly fights him. And then, of course, where they walk off, Rama carrying his pants. Which I'm sure may have put those things back on. And then Nibiki proceeds to tell him, oh, yeah, I know who that person, the Chinese geek. And then he writes a letter, supposedly challenging Girl Rama to a fight. Goes to a field. He's about to fight, and then he just takes a bouquet of flowers. And then he just walks away. Because he has a thing for Girl Ranma. And then she turns into ash and floats away. Ends the episode. Kind of a weird ending, but that's kind of how it ended also in the original series in the 3rd episode as well. Yes, I do find interesting, though, in just 2 episodes, we've already gone through the first 3 episodes of the series. Now, what is the 3rd episode be called? I don't know, because they didn't technically give an episode name for the next episode. Not really, no. But really fun episode. Also, Kuno's got a beautiful sister who will show up in the series. How long we have to wait? Not sure, actually. Yeah, as for the next episode, well, we had to find out about that next week. They didn't have a... But, great episode. I think that the people who make this series so far does an excellent job. Yeah, they do. Oh, in case you're curious, though, what was the name of the 2 episodes that so far this the remake for? Well, the first episode here is Ranma, which also was the name of the first episode of this previous one. So, then they pretty much remade episodes 2 and 3. School is a place for horse and round, and Sudden Storm of Love. They just combined these 2 episodes into one. So, my guess is they might do the same thing for next week's episode. Who knows? Yep. But yeah, that's particularly a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, do the dislike button. Next up, a Comic Corner. And then next it's on to the 7 Deadly Sins, the 4 Nights of the Apocalypse.